Hey guys, it is Carly once again back with your Tuesday review here on Body Bags. It is week number 234, and today I'm going to be reviewing kind of a strange film called Fever from the year 2014. This is a French film, I believe. It is subtitled, and the story here is you have two high school students, two boys rather, who commit a crime of murder of some random woman on the streets early on in the movie, and the rest of the movie is basically just them kind of moving on past it and dealing with paranoia and things of that nature. They're kind of just trying to go about their daily lives, just go back to school, pretend everything's fine and things like that, but then a few things kind of get them paranoid, and you also have this female character who is kind of sees a clue and is led to believe that they might have done something, so that kind of adds on to the paranoia, and that's the basic story here. JP actually gave me this film. It's one of the ones he gave me for Christmas, and it's one I was kind of excited to check out because the cover is just kind of intriguing to me. It's an artsploitation film, and it just has a very artsy cover, and it's considered a psychological thriller on the back, but when you look it up online, it considers it to be more of a drama crime film, and I can tell you right away, this really does not feel like a horror film at all, and I was really excited to watch it because of the dark subject matter behind it, because it sounded like, it would be kind of a mix of films of super dark times, kind of those coming of age movies where you have teenagers doing something horrible and having to deal with it. So I was really excited for it, and I have to say I was pretty disappointed with it. JP even said that he thought it was just okay, and I thought I was going to like it a lot more than I did, but the reason I'm disappointed is because the crime they commit kind of just happens right at the beginning of the movie, and you just have that happen, and then the rest of the movie is not really necessarily dealing with that crime. It makes it sound like it's going to be this big paranoia trip, and they're going to be flashing back to it and things like that, but the director took a different approach and kind of just shows literally just their daily lives, and most of the movie is just them kind of doing normal stuff with the occasional breakdowns and things like that. This character here does a pretty good job, I will say, of acting. Some of his facial expressions, he just does very good worried expressions, and there's a part where he actually breaks down and cries, and I think he does a fantastic job. Both of them do a pretty good job in it. The acting is solid. Like I said, it is subtitled though too, so I feel like some of the paranoia and things like that might get a little lost in translation as well, but I feel like the director really was just trying to take a different approach instead of being too in your face with dealing with the murder that took place and all the dark stuff. He kind of is just trying to show this more, I don't know if I would say realistic, but just this weird approach of where the kids are very much just going about their daily lives, and so none of it really feels horrifying or anything like that. And then, you have this other woman character who is kind of has a side part where she's dealing with some relationship issues and whatnot. I didn't really find that to be all that interesting either, to be 100% honest. And, this movie also just kind of ends, and when it ended, I was kind of like, oh, I thought there was going to be more to it. It felt like I missed something. Like I said before, I think it was just the intentions of the person who made this. He was just trying to be like, okay, this is just, they did something bad, this is their lives afterwards. I mean, the boys do some other things, like they're looking up these, their ancestry and people of that nature, so they do some quirky things in the movie, and like I said, some of their facial expressions and just parts in the movie where they're kind of just laying around, you could tell they're thinking about what they've done, but it's all very subtle is what I'm trying to kind of get at. There's not really any major moments in this, and like I said, it does not feel like a horror movie at all, or really doesn't really even feel like a psychological thriller to me, to be honest. I think crime drama is definitely the better classification for this movie because it is much more of a drama than a psychological thriller or anything like that. It just didn't really do it for me personally, but because the performances were solid and it had some decent cinematography in it as well, I did give it a 6 out of 10. I feel like other people might enjoy this just for the artsy nature behind it. It is called Fever, and there is a song called Fever that is brought up throughout the movie, which is also very metaphorical of what's going on, so that's pretty cool. But for me, it just wasn't for me personally. I do like, you know, I love my psychological thrillers and very dark movies, and that's what I thought this was going to be, but it really just wasn't, and it came off as a bit disappointing. So 6 out of 10 for Fever from 2014. Like I said, you might like it, you might not, but I would say definitely check it out if, you know, if these types of movies you feel would be for you, but for me, just not for me. So 6 out of 10. Thank you guys once again for joining me for this Tuesday review, and I'll see you next Tuesday.